Hi, this is Denise from ProMetSource with another accessibility insight. Today we are going to discuss color contrast. So what is color contrast? Simply put, it is the difference between two colors. As it applies to web design, contrast issues apply to such items as text color, background color, and text on images. Among accessibility issues, color and contrast are some of the most overlooked. There are nearly 3 times more individuals with low vision than those with total blindness. Additionally, contrast issues affect individuals with various forms of color blindness. Some issues these individuals may experience include a person who cannot see or is colorblind will not know which to choose when instructed to advance to the next screen using the red arrow. A person with low vision or color blindness will not be able to distinguish text against the background without sufficient contrast. We are going to talk about the following color contrast issues: text against background, non-text contrast, and testing for color contrast issues. Please note we will not be discussing all color contrast issues within the accessibility landscape. If you would like additional information, please visit w3.org. Text against backgrounds. Ensuring that there's enough color contrast between text and background makes content easier to read for people with low vision. Low vision users may not necessarily need to use contrast enhancing assistive technologies if the contrast of the text and background is 4.5 to 1. The rule also considers people who have color vision deficiencies. Some color vision deficiencies may affect how bright colors appear to someone, so this rule also helps ensure that color doesn't affect how these users perceive content on the screen. Backgrounds may consist of a solid color, a pattern, a gradient, an image, an animation, a video, or some other element. The contrast minimum should meet this standard under all of these conditions unless the poor contrast is so brief as to not significantly interfere with the user experience. Let's take a look at the image on the screen. We have text on top of a picture. As you can tell, certain parts of the text are difficult to see and some are easy to see. The text is all the same color. However, the differences in contrast with the various background colors create different levels of readability or contrast. Non-text contrast. All elements on a page need to have proper contrast in order to ensure users with low vision can perceive those parts of the screen that are not necessarily text, but are still important for accessing and understanding content. This includes elements such as checkboxes, radio buttons, and form elements. Without sufficient contrast on buttons and other controls, users may not be able to distinguish them from the background. Note, this requirement does not mean an element has to have a visual boundary indicating the hit area, but if the visual indicator of the boundary is the only way to identify the component, it must have sufficient contrast. Let's take a look at a few examples. The below example shows a radio button group. The visual boundary where a user can select a radio button is a faint gray color with poor contrast to the white background. It would be better if the visual boundary was a dark color, creating a higher level of contrast. The next image shows a simple checkbox. The visual boundary indicating where a user can click it is a dark gray color and contrasts sharply with the surrounding white. The following is a list of a few tools you can use to test for color contrast. First, we have the WebAIM Color Contrast Checker. If we return a result such as what we have on the right, tell you in relation to what size text if you meet contrast requirements. Two other options are DQ Color Contrast Checker and Color Contrast Analyzer. Ultimately, as long as you are using a reliable and consistent contrast checker, which one you use is really just up to preference. Thanks for taking time to listen and have a great day.